Hello and welcome. So today I have a absolute giant of a cucumber that I grew in my garden. Now I've washed this just because there's bugs and things, and I definitely want this dry because when you go to cut things and they're wet, they're a little too slippery. And sometimes cucumbers have these, I know it's really hard to see on this camera, but they have these little spikes here and they're kind of stabby. So when you wash them or you dry them, you kind of want to rub those off. Either way, this absolute giant of a cucumber is going to be used for seeds. And that was why it was specifically grown. It was one of mine that I let go to try and get seeds. So I'm just going to start by cutting it and trying not to cut all the way through the seeds, which sometimes is a little bit impossible. You're not going to get every seed out of this, but you should be able to get enough. And what is left over, I give to the animals. I think there's a good seed. I give to the animals outside, the night animals, whatever wants to come around, birds. That is a very nice cucumber seed. It's nice and plump. And it's not flat, as you can see. And that is going to grow a new cucumber next year. So that I will put on a dry paper towel, let it air dry, label it, of course, so that when it air dries, you remember what the heck it is. I am very good at forgetting what the heck stuff is. And I'm just going to try and get this open by peeling it the best I can and get out as many seeds as I can that I think I can grow next year. So there's a couple that look good, nice and plump, good seeds. Put them on my paper towel. There is definitely a bunch in here. That one's a good one. That are not going to be good. So the ones that are not going to be good are like this teeny tiny one here. It's barely grown a seed. You can see the whiteness around it where it was trying to grow a seed and it just hadn't got there. That's going to go to the animals. So with these seeds though, I just take them out. I dry them on a paper towel. Anywhere is fine, as long as it's getting enough airflow and it's not too moist and they dry out real good. And then you can either see there's like a bunch of them that are just not ripe. This one's ripe. That's going to grow a cucumber next year. And you can just dry them on a paper towel anywhere that isn't going to be too moist, so they actually dry out real good. And then you can either put them in your freezer in a baggie on the paper towel still, or after they're super dried out, you can just put them in a baggie itself and it'll be fine. So with this one, it's kind of like stuck pretty well in half. So there's a good seed, so I'm going to take that one. I mean, with a cucumber, you can kind of run your finger through most of it, even if it's giant, and get all the seeds out. You could use a spoon, whatever you feel like doing, but I like to save my own seeds from the plants I grew. I like to take the first one vegetable that's growing off each one of my plants, like the very first one, and use that as my seed collector. So I let that one grow pretty darn giant and I don't pick it because I want seeds from it. Sometimes I try to do at least a couple different plants because, there's a variety of things, a variety of conditions, a variety of pollination, and I don't want to be stuck with something that isn't going to work for me next year. But all these, I just collect them, dry them out, save them for next year. And the perk of doing this little bit of work and having just one giant one grow for you is next year, I don't have to spend like $2 to $5 on a bag of seeds that I could have just kept one of my plants from. So, and they grew in my area. These ones were last year's plants that I had planted that I saved the seeds of themselves. This year I had a giant drought and most of my plants didn't survive because I have a well and I was way more concerned with saving water for the things I actually needed versus my plants. And I had enough canning that I had done in the previous years to be good for this winter and everything. So anyway, there's how my giant cucumber turned into seeds for next year. And then these rinds and things they're kind of tough. They're just tough. So I'm not going to eat them, but I am going to cut them up and I'm going to feed the wildlife of whatever wants to eat them. Because I think it's important that we give back to the wildlife if we can, whether it's your own birds, your own animals, or whatever will eat it. I think it's good to share. All right. I love you guys. God bless.